NETKOTH was a blast. It came down to 2 guys. I don't think either is in this room. Yeah, they were tied at the end. So we debated, NSA Key and I debated, should we just give them both the award or do something else? And Key was like, ha! We're going to do a sudden death round. So we did a 60-minute sudden death hacking. He set up 4 servers. I'll be a little detailed here. He made them all Metasploitable. And said, okay, started the timer. And so both of them were like, bam, running everything to try and get into the servers. The goal was you had to get to the web page, the index.html page on each server, and put a little team tag, and then that name would show up. So I'll say it was Stockdoodle. He got in, and he planted his flag, and so every minute he's getting a point for his flag being there, while the other guy who was OX3F8, which is COM-port 1, so he's trying to get in. So Stockdoodle, he's got 5 points, and then BOFH NSA Key reacts by just shutting down the server, so it won't score anymore. And then COM-port 1, he's able to get in, and he gets about 5 points, and then Key shuts down that server. So now they're both going after the 3rd server. Stockdoodle gets in. He places his flag, but then as he's locking up all the ports behind him, he does the IP tables in the wrong order, so the scoring server cannot get to his server to give him points. Right, so we figured this out about 5-10 minutes later. Meanwhile, 3F8 gets into a server, but it's not counting him because instead of putting team name /team, he put test team name /test. So the scoring server isn't counting his either. Then another server comes in, and what did Key do then at that point? He removed the entire root directory on the server to shut that one down. And then there was another server, and he did a change attributes +I on the index page. I don't know what +I does, but it what?
Yeah, it makes it unwritable.
Okay, it made it unwritable so that the guy couldn't get in and put his team tag on that. And then, so they're like tied for a while, and then Stockdoodle did something. We finally figured out something he did wrong, and he did, and the score's going up. And then COM-port 1 gets in, and he plants his flag, and then so he was behind. He planted his flag, and now then he locked out Stockdoodle. So now they get up, and then they're tied, and Stockdoodle can't get any more points. And they're still tied, and the timer's going to go. So the question is the scoring server going to trigger first, or is the alarm going to go off that it's 60 minutes, right? And so it triggers, and then like 30 seconds later, the timer goes off.
Oh, wow.
So 3F8 won it by like 30 seconds, and so we wrote it all up. We'll post the blog on, but it was a pretty exciting photo finish. Ben, do you want to talk about the kids track?
Yeah. We had, I think, 24 kids around that. The kids track this year was great. I brought this just in case any of you didn't get a chance to see what we did. The kids made this kit courtesy, well, we put a little bit of money toward it, but probably not near what it was worth. The Makers 256 guys brought us some kits, and about 12 of the kids made these. So they're little dice rolls, which was really cool. Most of them had never touched a soldering iron before, and they were thrilled. Next year we'll have to do a little bit differently. We just didn't have the time to do this because they take about 2 hours each. We also played with this thing courtesy of Amy I'd never even seen before. And I don't know if you guys know what this is, but you can play like the piano and use bananas and apples and anything conductive. You can hook up to this circuit and plug it into USB. So the kids were thrilled with that. And we did some Python, which some of the kids did great, and then we started with Linux console commands. And when the kids started understanding man pages and what a man page was, and we would tell them a command, and the few of them that got it would go, oh, and man it, find the options and just start trying things. And that was it was awesome to see kids just take off, like, oh, this is great. So they were doing things that, of course, wasn't meant to be done that way.
Good.
But they were doing it, and it was great. So I think we had a great time, or I had a great time. I had Tim Heath, I think he's already left, and Tigger take over the soldering because there's no way that I could have done that, and they did fantastic. So huge thanks to them, and huge thanks to Amy for teaching that and giving, or teaching the Python and giving a lot of the examples that we kind of followed. So we just followed on her teacher self. You know, all of her experience we used heavily. So that's really it from the kids track. Can I talk about a couple of other things real quick?
Sure, sure. And then I want to kind of ask the audience if they have any kind of comments on PhreakNIC, what went well, what didn't go well, what you want to see in future PhreakNICs, and then I'll have a couple other things, and then we'll be done, and we can go home and sleep.
So real big thanks to Steven. Is he in here still? Ah, there he is. Yeah. Super volunteer Steven. He probably volunteered like 12 hours. And he's not here today, but a really big thanks to Isaac. This year we were short on registration, and rather than catch any talks, Isaac sat out there most of the time. And so we've got to do something about getting more volunteers, but he really made things go well. We really filled in well. So big thanks to those, and I'm sure there's so many people I'm forgetting, but thanks to all the speakers. I was trying to contact people, and it kind of all falls together those last 2 weeks, and it was really good. Shay, thank you for just on the spur of the moment, I'll do a Python workshop. And some people really enjoyed that. So I really love the workshops. If you guys can be thinking over the next year, it doesn't have to be about InfoSec. We have track 2 for non-InfoSec stuff. So whether it's cooking or programming or whatever, I mean, and James, thank you for the Amazon Echo. That was really cool for a lot of us. So a lot of the talks are recorded, or almost all the talks are recorded except a couple that didn't ask, and they should be up within the next few weeks. Steven's working on that, so we'll go from there. So just thanks everyone, really appreciate it. If you want to help us pack up a little, if you're going to be hanging around a little bit, we're going to be over here probably stacking and organizing and putting wires and stuff. Otherwise, see you next year.
Great. Thank you, Ben. So, kind of a casual thing. Anybody here have a comment about PhreakNIC? Yes.
I actually had trouble sometimes, like, I couldn't tell which track was which room, and then sometimes I just had to go hit all the rooms to figure out where a talk was. So I'd like to have, like, I don't know if you want to call it, it was like A, B, C, and say this track is in that room.
A little better signage? Okay.
Yeah, better signage, better ways to identify it. And also the website got updated. I don't know, the website was kind of confusing for me, the Google Calendar part.
Website?
Like the Google Calendar, like was kind of confusing to me. It was not as clear as it could be. I don't know what would be better.
Mobile app. We would love to have a mobile app, but we need someone to make a mobile app. Scott?
So the schedule for on that room in that corner was inside the door, so we had it would be nice to maybe have it on both sides.
Okay, better signage, definitely. Okay.
Yeah, I intended to put up a sign on the other side of the door and couldn't find space for a while, and then I was busy and I never got around to I printed the sign off and never got around to actually down it.
But we're making a note of it. All right. Camille? Right, yes.
Awesome. I would love this. Is my first time. Thank you
Welcome.
guys. Like everything. As far as I think that definitely an app would help, but even maybe just something as analog as like a big board with all of the things for each track, and then just so as soon as something gets changed, okay, you can refer to that.
So like a digital board?
Digital or just a poster board.
Okay.
A whiteboard.
Whiteboard.
A whiteboard?
Yeah,
Good idea.
yeah,
Okay.
just
Bigger print.
whiteboard.
Okay.
Bigger print.
Yeah, the Google
Agreed.
Calendar was great, but then for whatever reason, last night it shifted to last year. I don't know if anybody knows.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you were looking at
Saw
it
that.
in 2015 for whatever reason.
You had to
like
scroll to
maybe
get to
the-
2016.
Yeah, maybe it was the
yeah.
time change
Okay.
or it's aligned or something.
All right. Scott?
Okay. It's something I do at DragonCon. I don't know if you want to do this or not, but you might think about tent cards.
What?
Tent cards for speakers.
Tent cards. We actually have tent card. We have tent right here. We just never.
There they are, still in the
It's a great idea. Yes, we will do them.
What does it mean?
For next year.
What's a TED card?
Oh, it's, you fold it in half and write the
Yeah.
person's name and put it in
Yeah,
front of
tent
them.
card. Yeah,
okay.
tent card. And we even have dry erase tent cards.
Do that?
What?
I wouldn't be able to count TED cards.
Yeah. And that's it. We're so shorthanded that we're kind of doing things with both hands. So, but excellent idea. And these are dry erase, so you could write a name and then erase it and put somebody else's name. It's really cool. Okay.
That means you can't take your TIT card home with you to say, I was a speaker, look at my TIT card.
If there's somebody to snap a picture of you standing up there, then you really got proof you were there.
Yep. All right. Yes, Brimstone.
Someone suggested to me a concept that Hope pulls off every year, and that they have one room, or one room for one track that isn't scheduled. There's just a big sign-up sheet on the front door, so it's literally, if you want an hour,
24-hour light
about
box.
whatever, sign up for those.
Yeah, sort of the ad hoc room.
It's like a
Yeah.
7-4 one. It's in the middle.
By the way, I love the lightning talks. We had
Yeah.
20 lightning talks this year. It went really well. Okay. Strick.
Counterpoint, I'd rather do that in a big open area where people come and go a lot, instead of another isolated room.
As long as it doesn't end up distracting me, yeah.
Get a big soapbox.
That's a good way to mark the position anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I know that there was a,
All app, so you can, that way you can hook your laptop up and present or whatever you wanted to do.
I know that there was a job fair or something going on at the top. We were supposed to have that space, and that would be a really good space too to do it, yeah.
Yeah, that was an issue with the hotel. They were supposed to give us everything, and then we showed up and we didn't have everything. But
That soapbox could be a popular place at 3 a.m.
yeah, yeah, we wanted to have all of the inside atrium rooms, just us, just PhreakNIC, but it didn't quite turn out that way. Yes?
If the hotel was willing to extend breakfast by an extra 30 minutes, that would be awesome.
Later breakfast, okay?
Well, if we keep doing it on the weekend that has the time change, everybody gets an extra hour, which I think everybody likes. So I think we're going to try to do that. I mean, it's just really good.
So for us, that ended up staying up that extra hour.
And what did everyone think about the time for lunch? Was it about, have a session or two, and then I think we started at 11 a.m. lunch?
Yeah, I've got a couple comments that it was too early and we need to bump it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyone?
but if you live in Atlanta, your stomach is on Eastern time.
So with an 11 a.m. lunch, I'll ask, how many people think that it was between too early on time or late? How many people think it was too early a time for lunch? Okay, how many think it was about right? And how many people think it was too late in the day? Okay, so too early.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anything else?
I just want to make a comment on the reverse. Is there anything as a community that we could do ahead of time? Like you mentioned, volunteers and anything on the front end or the back end early that I can help out with, or anybody that can help out with, either even financially or having like a from that aspect.
We need mobile apps. We want to have everyone just be able to do this on a mobile app. We need more help on the web. Ben's doing like the entire website single-handedly, but we'd love to have someone else do the web. We need more volunteers, just people to watch doors and help carry things. We need people on the board. Right now, I'm cycling off the board. One or two other people may be cycling off the board. To be on the board, all you need is to have either attended at least 4 of our monthly meetings over the course of a year, or have been a volunteer or speaker at 2 PhreakNICs within the last 5 years. So I know a lot of people here qualify, and it helps so much to be on the board or to start showing up at board meetings. We also need sponsors. So either developing relationships with sponsors or being a sponsor, or you can just PayPal to treasurer@nashville2600.org. And everything's tax deductible. I want to tell you, if you traveled here, your airfare is tax deductible. If you stayed in a hotel, your hotel cost is tax deductible. If you paid for meals, everything is tax deductible because we are an official charity. So write it off on your taxes.
Oh,
And Ben has other suggestions.
well, I was just going to say and I'm running a little sleep, but if everybody everybody in here is so talented. I can build any Linux distro we want to boot on those machines in there. If you have an idea for a workshop, I love the workshops because it's hands-on. If you have an idea of something you could teach, something you could show, get with me. We will build a custom distro and we'll plan that next year around that. So I want to give really good content, and it's really best to engage with people who are passionate about what they're doing. So just hit me up for that.
I would like to add, of course we take up with fundraising. We've started,
We're a nonprofit,
actually,
right.
well, we started Toy Chest. We've got 2 makey-makers. Yay. There's so many cool things out there that we could do that I've gotten to play with that kids don't get access to, and I would love to bring in. You know, we need financial resources, and then what we can do is just keep collecting, just like we are. And we'll have a massive collection over the years, and then it'll be less expensive to run the kids' track.
Yeah, this year I think I spent about $300 of my own money to get the kids track where I wanted it. So next year, next year we're going to try to add drones. But we're getting like $10 ones from China, so we'll see how that works.
Taking out the collection for Ben,
Okay, Abo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, with everything that they suggested, if you can do that, absolutely do that. If you can't, the sheer bit of telling other people throughout the year, hey, I came here, I had a blast, I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's our primary promotion is word of mouth.
Let's go viral.
And it is really what works best.
If we can just book that whole atrium, we can stay up as late as we want. But out there,
and
not
pre-run.
Yeah. The numbers, no fault, did you have a chance to look up total attendance this year?
No, but we're better than last year.
Yeah. So we made a guess that we had about 250, 270?
15.
Yeah, and last year we had about 220. So good growth. We want to keep growing. What other questions? And yes.
Somebody mentioned that in the atrium area that the fire alarm is an IR beam, and that the drones, if they break the beam, could set off the fire alarm. I don't know, speculating, it's just a speculative.
Oh, wow.
There was a fire alarm that was set off last night.
That's a
so-
feature.
It's like
It was canceled.
Okay. Yeah, Joe.
Back to qualifications for the leadership at 2600 National. You said that there had to be speakers at past cons. Do lightning rounds count?
I would say, yeah. If you've spoken at the lightning talk, we'll count that as a speaker. Also, I have to say, to be on the board, you have to live within 50 miles of Nashville, defined as 50 miles from the Parthenon. That's in Centennial Park.
But we do have a mailing list, which if you guys want to sign up for information about the con or what we're planning or what's in our meetings or the minutes that we have.
Mhm. And we have a Slack channel. Everyone's welcome into the Slack channel. Anything else? Comments? Yes.
How old do you have to be?
Be on the board? Yes. Do we have an age limit?
No.
No.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I would love to have a kid on board.
Ask your mom first.
I mean, you need to attend board meetings, so ask your mom. Or take Uber, heck, you can be a kid on Uber, right? Yeah. Okay, anything else? Okay, so just a couple other things. So we gave out prizes. There is a survey, please. I mean, this is great feedback here, but please also answer the survey. The URL is on the back of your programs. It's a bit.ly link, PhreakNIC 20 survey. It should be easy to find. Next PhreakNIC, we'll be here again. We've agreed with the hotel. It'll be the first weekend in November 2017. It will be PhreakNIC 21. We need suggestions as for the motto.
Hope to see something family friendly.
Family friendly. Everyone says, oh, old enough to drink or something. No, something else cool about 21, PhreakNIC 21. So last year was Signal in the Noise, as we came back from the dead. And this year was Back to Our Roots. And
Blackjack.
what?
Blackjack. Cards with blackjack.
Make PhreakNIC great again.
Make PhreakNIC great
The swag is cheese graters.
It's gonna build such a big firewall, it's gonna be so tall.
Okay.
And Dragon Con's going to pay for it.
Okay, let's see. How many people here stayed in the hotel? How many people here had to stay in a different hotel? Okay, all right. And how many people here just drove in or live in the Nashville area. Okay, all right. So, any comments about the hotel? Were rooms clean, anything?
I had roaches in my room.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Yeah.
The rooms by the pool are extremely musty, and last year I asked them to move me, and this year again I asked them to move me. They put me in a room that's kind of opposite the pool, and first floor, and I asked them to move me because a lot of the rooms are just really musty. I had mold allergies.
Okay, so that was on the ground floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because of the swimming pool, so we'll see, get you on a higher room. Okay, good point.
Yeah, I was, the room service never came the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah, I keep a camera in the room and they never Hey, I'm paranoid. Imagine.
That's good, that's good, that's proof. We're there, yeah.
But the
Okay.
other thing is in the internet and all that, it's, you know, if they could actually make it work a little bit. I realize it's
Yeah,
people
clearance.
that come and you do have, they usually you leave the internet up for some, you know, at your own risk, but you leave it up so that people can at least still use it if they have to.
I was not brave enough to connect to hotel Wi-Fi.
I got a firewall for that, but that part, you know, the stuff I carry to do my work stuff I have to do, I have my hotspot, well, but I burned up like, 18 gigs of data this weekend.
I think it's different areas of the hotel, because it was great in here. I've been downloading
It did not work up
ISOs.
the fourth
That's why it was so slow.
The hotel is a Faraday cage at 20 meters.
Yeah. That's how you put the antenna up, like, you're putting the antenna up in the
Hey, Wanda,
John, yeah.
I used the hotel Wi-Fi, but it had a VPN running, and it worked, but at times the transfer rate got very low.
Maybe while I was downloading my
What's the
ISOs.
internet, what do you want?
Yeah, I was gonna say, unfortunately, that's a constant complaint at just about any convention in hotels where it's a geek type convention, because all of a sudden, there's a ton of people wanting to use it for some strange reason.
The hotel's just unprepared for the amount of people we normally use the Wi-Fi.
All right.
Happens in the past at other hotels.
Hotspots.
How many people got a chance to go into the Oculus Rift room? Check it out. Was it fun?
Yes.
Good? Okay. Should we do it again if possible?
Yeah.
Will Oculus Rift still be a thing next year?
We're making a new one.
Virtually.
We're making a new
Can't
Oculus
touch
Rift.
I'll buy it.
I like this guy.
Cast AR. Like a cast AR.
More casting. Yeah, Jerry Ellsworth. You keep inviting her.
She needs to come.
Yeah, she's awesome. Okay,
Do we have the Oculus Rift on the main floor somewhere? 'Cause I never could, maybe it's because I was drinking, but.
the Oculus, you could never what?
Well, my concern was, this is my personal equipment, so I got, the whole rig and the Oculus is, about almost $3,000. And, I didn't want to leave it alone. So, and the Oculus is one of those things where you just unplug it and take the two parts and,
Yeah, you don't want some, like, some kid, outside of the conference, like.
So that's why I wanted to keep it in the room.
Maybe
And,
we can just have signups next year for tours.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, tell him.
Equipment, we have needs for equipment from time to time. If you want to donate equipment, it's a tax write-off.
Even something as simple as a microphone
If you want
stand
to-
makes a difference.
If you want to sponsor us by your company, and told us a nice advertising expense, you can write it off on your taxes, so. And if you have older equipment that you'd like to donate from Ben, there's lots of things that you can use. That's a tax write-off.
All right. Anybody else have anything? Okay, so in that case, it's just again, a big thank you to everyone, to the people who sponsored us, to our speakers, to the volunteers, to the attendees, everyone who came, thank you. And that's a wrap.